Welcome to You're Not the Boss of Me. If you are determined to break glass ceilings and build it your way, this show is for you. I'm your host, Beth Graves, and I am obsessed with helping you to not just dream it, but make the plan, connect the dots, and create what you crave. Are you ready? Let's get started. Okay, friends, welcome back to episode number 36. I'm really excited because we're going on a trip together. If you're listening to this live, we're still not traveling. We're in the stay-at-home mode. Some places have started to reopen parks, but we're still not packing to go on a vacation. And this past few weeks, I was supposed to be in Amsterdam and in Texas. So this episode is going on a trip, but the suitcase is very unique. So stay with me because I have a feeling you're going to like where we're headed. All right, so we've packed the suitcase. Remember that game. I'm going on a trip and I'm going to bring an avocado and the next person goes to B. I'm going on a trip and bringing an avocado and a banana and it goes around the circle until the suitcase is packed. Well, the suitcase that I want to pack with you is all of the tools that you've been given, whether following me, following some of you have found me from Rob Sperry's podcast. Perhaps you follow the Manifestation Babe. You have journaling with growth, gratitude, and goals. You've got daily methods of operation from 45 different places. And in that suitcase, you have all of these tools. And some of you, after doing the focus framework over in Camp Elevate, said, oh my gosh, this is just what I need. And then you might do it for a few days and then I don't know, that doesn't seem like it really fits for me. And then you jump over to something else and then you find a Trello board. And pretty soon that suitcase has 6 pairs of underwear, no socks. You get to the destination and you've packed flip-flops, but you're really going for cold weather and nothing feels right in the suitcase. Does this make sense to you guys? I'm talking about this suitcase that got a bunch of stuff in it, but we really don't have what we need for where we're headed. And that is a huge problem because when we open the suitcase and it feels disorganized, I want you to imagine that suitcase that's packed. My friend Blair packs her suitcase with these packable cubes. She never forgets a thing. And many times I go on a trip and I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to pack all the things because then when I get there, I'll decide. And honestly, tell me if you can relate to this. I think that the Target in the town where I am, I must visit because I have forgotten something so important for this trip. And then suddenly we're looking for stores that we don't even really go to on a regular basis when we're at home. I want your suitcase to be packed with those cubes that when you open it up, you feel like I have everything in the suitcase that I need. Now, if you choose not to wear something on that trip that's in the suitcase, that's okay. But you are not feeling the overwhelm that I feel or have felt before I planned what was to go in my suitcase and running to Target because at the last minute, you forgot flip-flops, and that's an important thing if you're headed to the beach. Can you relate? So we want to make sure that inside of your suitcase, you have the tools that you need. You know where to find them. You're not pulling everything out. And you know exactly, I'm going to the beach. I've got my flip-flops. You know to put on your pajamas at night. And it feels aligned and it feels right. So I want to talk to you about my idea with a suitcase today. And I want to get your feedback on this because if we think about building something different, something that people can access, we want to make sure that it is going to serve. Meaning, if you were to build a community center, you would talk to the people at tennis. So as you build your suitcase, like the community center, meaning if there's tennis courts and a pool and a workout room, you're not just going to have some dude that doesn't work out, play tennis, or use a workout room. It happens. Put those pieces in place. So as you build out your suitcase, you get to decide what goes inside. Where will you store it? All of your tools. How will you use them and how will you show up? I want you to also remember that you can have all the tools inside of your suitcase to build your business, but the most important tool you can't put in your suitcase. And that is the idea, the concept, the belief that your thoughts create your life and they create the life that you choose to build. Okay, so we've got 2 things. We've got the things, the tools, the strategies, the daily method of operations that say, I'm going to talk to people on their birthday. We have what I think is the most important thing in the suitcase, which is the abundance shift, knowing that we have to ask and declare and that our thoughts truly do create our life. So many times the mistake that we make as business owners is we perfectly pack the suitcase, but we have no fun, or we're not having any joy, or we're stressed out on this trip called life because we have forgotten about how we were going to create the thoughts, practice the thoughts, go over and over the thoughts about what that trip would be like for us. So I know that I'm using a lot of like crazy metaphors, but I want you to think about that suitcase and think about going on that trip. And if you ever been someplace, visited someone, you're like, this sucks. This is horrible. This is not what I expected. This tour is terrible. And you've gone someplace else and it's been like the very best. Like everything was fun. Everything was exciting. And it really might be the energy behind that trip and the people that were with you that lifted you up. Think about that. Think about you can be in one of the most exotic places. And if you're with a bunch of negativity and fighting and chaos, it can be the worst trip of your life. So we've got the suitcase. We're going on the trip. The trip, the fun, the engagement, the energy, that's really your destination. That's where you're headed. So let's break this down. Do you know where you're headed on the trip? And as you're looking at your business, as you're looking at your goals and destination for where do I want to be with my business and how do I want that to look? And also, same thing for your home life, your family, and your health. How do I want it to look? And you absolutely, positively need to think and act and visualize more than just what goes in that suitcase. So remember, the suitcase, those are the tools. Those are the things that I give you, that many leaders give you. If you're in network marketing, that you're getting from your company, those are the tools. Where you're going on the trip, the destination, many people can say, oh, I want to be at this income level. I want to be at this rank. I want to have this many clients. Okay, so that's cool. But why do some people get it and some people don't using the same tools? What if I packed the same suitcase as Mary, but I've been able to get to the destination, but Mary hasn't, or maybe Mary got beyond and I haven't. The difference is the thoughts about what's going to happen and how that destination is absolutely beyond possible, that it is for you. But it just doesn't come from a couple affirmations that happen a few times a day. And we're going to walk through this, and I'm inviting Louise Hay, who is, if you don't know Louise Hay, do a Google search. Oh my gosh, she is what I think is the founding woman around manifestation and bringing in the metaphysical to how we actually attract what we put out into the world. And if you listen to just a few of her interviews and dive into some of her books and know about her story, I wish she was here so I could have her on the podcast. The most important thing as I was listening to Louise Hay this morning was it's the thoughts that create our lives. So when you look at that destination and when you think about, okay, it's the beginning of the month, many of you are listening, I've got this goal. Remember that everything you think and speak comes back to you multiplied. So I get a lot of end of the month messages, or even during the focus framework last week, people were commenting, but this hasn't worked for me. People aren't answering me. I don't know how to attract people to look at my business. Everything you think and speak comes back to you multiplied. So you have to be so mindful of your words. And I literally will find myself hundreds of times a day going to words that are not creating that destination. So I want to make sure that you have the suitcase, you have the tools. And most of the time we're talking about the focus framework, how to build your business. How do you put the abundant shift in your life? We've got those tools in that suitcase. And I started this episode talking about where do you keep your tools? You know, is the suitcase overwhelmed? Is it overflowing? Do you not have the flip-flops for where you're going? And then I wanted you to visualize that perfectly packed suitcase, the one that Blair has, right? With all the cubicles. But when you get to that destination, I have to share this with you. Think about when you travel with a young child, Disney World, something they've always wanted to see the first time they see snow or they see that mountain. And I think about it with Donnie because he loves to wakeboard at cable parks. He's a competitive wakeboarder. And When we pulled up to this really cool wake park in Orlando, it's the wonder in his eyes, the destination. He's like, oh my gosh, this look, we have arrived. This is going to be the best day. And his friend Lex is with him. And Lex is like this, I call Lex the golden retriever teenager. And they just had this serene, content, excited look. That's your destination. They'd been visualizing it. They were excited. They knew exactly what they were going to do. They had planned it. And without fail, it was the perfect day. So I want you to think about how you many times have that suitcase packed and you don't even know your destination. So let's do this. We're just going to take one area, one thing in May or whatever month you're in. What is the destination? Where would you like to be on the last day of this month? How many new customers if you have a product? How many new business partners if you are in a business of network marketing where you have a recruiting for your downline? How many new Facebook group members? How many sales? What is that goal and what will it look like and feel like for you once you get there? The strategy of breaking it down, how many sales, how many conversations a day, how many ways do I post on my social media that I'm attracting people to me? That's one piece of it, right? But when you understand and you know that destination, then we can go to the suitcase and say, I've got all the tools that I need. They're right here. And we go forward with that. And that's what we do daily, right? We did that all in the focus framework in camp. And those of you that work with me know that we talk about how to create those blocks in your day to have massive success in your business. And don't worry, those of you that are thinking, I can't get access to that. Sometimes I don't see it in camp. I have the most exciting announcement that's coming that is going to give you access to the tools and also to the mindset shifts without having to invest in a very high level mastermind. Because right now I don't do coaching unless it's in a high level mastermind or the stuff that comes out in camp. But we have a need. We have a need because people are saying, I want to know where are the tools for my suitcase? How do I work on this abundant mindset destination, knowing where I'm going to be and knowing that it's going to be the most magical place and having those thoughts consistently working? How do I get access? And how do I get it in a way that it doesn't feel like overwhelmingly crazy information? And I am creating the solution for you. So I have the destination in mind and I'm packing that suitcase. And that destination is going to be the most magical place and it will be available and it will be something that you can do. So if you want information on that, a little pitch in the middle of the podcast, if you want to know about this, I want you to send me a message because I am putting my first 100 into what I call the founder circle. It's affordable. It's less than 4 Starbucks trips a month. And it is going to be something like you've never seen, a very exclusive club. So if you want in and you want to know more about it, please I was going to have an opt-in link, but I'd rather you send me a message over on Instagram, Facebook Messenger, or email me at beth@bethholdengraves.com because I want to ask you some questions, interview you about this destination that we're going. We are going to the most magical place together. And it is going to have your suitcase with those tools packed in it, but it is not going to be confusing for you. You are going to know exactly, how do I do this? Here's where I want to be. Now, what do I need to do? So thinking about your destination, and even if I always say, let's choose 3 areas that we can really visualize where we want to be in the next 30 days. And who do I need to be to get there? So maybe it is a closer, more intimate relationship with your partner. Maybe it is really getting on that Peloton, showing your body love, not stuffing chocolate-covered bananas into your mouth at 10 o'clock at night when you're closing out the month. Just saying, those were really good bananas though, as we were celebrating some big wins at the end of the month. And then in your business, how does that look? How does that feel? Where will you be? What money do you want to make? What kind of goals do you have? Knowing what that is, and then remembering the key things are that you need to believe it can happen. Remember the abundant shift. Only good lies before me. And knowing that everything that you think and speak comes back to you multiplied. So if you've got this big goal of, I'm going to be at this level by the end of the month, and I'm going to have this income goal and have this number of new people in my organization, or this many number of coaching clients, or perhaps finally get the podcast out there into the world. But you say things to yourself over and over and over again, like, oh gosh, I've never been able to stick to a diet plan. I always eat sugar at night. It's my downfall. And then you shame yourself and you speak of not success, or even if your goal is 10 new clients this month, I have never been able to book 10 clients in a month. I've never been able to get new customers for my product. They just don't answer my messages. I must have the wrong social media. I'm going to go buy a new social media plan because I'm not attracting the people that I want, or I'm going to start changing my posts. Everything you think and speak comes back to you multiplied. So yes, you need tools. You have to know how to market. You need to know how to actually take that action. But the most important thing that you need to have is the belief, and everything you think and speak comes back to you multiplied. When I've had the most success personally in my business is when I have had absolute belief that without question, at the end of that month, this is what was going to happen. I have said it over and over again. You can say it, but if your thoughts keep coming back to, this isn't going to happen, it's not available, nobody does that, I don't know how she did it. How did she do that in her first 2 weeks? How did she end up having that success? And you think that I never get good people. I always get people that don't want to work. Listen to how that works. Your thoughts create your life, right? So, and if you're saying, well, I'm doing it, I'm having affirmations around it, I know the destination, I've got the tools, but if you keep saying things like, I don't have the time, I'm too busy, there's too overwhelming for me, I don't know what to do, that is what's going to happen. So I'm going to encourage you, when you start to feel that overwhelm, you know the destination. If you're even doing 3 affirmations a day around what it is that you want to manifest and have happen, and your thoughts, the universe hears that as well. So if you say 3 times a day that you are happy and grateful to have 4 new business partners and be at the rank of X, Y, and Z in your network marketing business, and you visualized it and you know where you're going, but all day long, your thoughts are going back to, my team, they just ignore me. They don't do anything, blah, 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 blah. I haven't had success. Why is she having success? And you're all over the place. Same thing with, the whole fitness plan. I don't know why I even try. I end up blowing it and nothing has ever worked for me, and I haven't stuck with anything for very long. I'm just going to gain that weight back. I've never been successful in a workout program. Then we just go back to, we attract, and that's what we do. So I want you to really start to think about that destination and the thoughts that create your life. And another thing that I want to talk to you about are, when you feel that overwhelm, that's when we start to create the tumbleweed, and it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger because we don't know how to stop that from happening and going in the spiral. So some tips I have about that is, do not engage in negativity with anybody. Make that happen this month. Do not engage with negativity with anybody. It's not time to have, I'm just going to vent, because when you vent, the universe hears it. No negativity, only positive. And remember, your thoughts create your life. Okay, your thoughts create your life. Next, if you have something that is of a concern to you and you have a coach, you have an upline, you have an accountability partner, before you just send a random voice memo that starts to say, oh my gosh, I can't believe this happened, and I did this, and I did blah, blah, blah. That is, again, inviting that into the universe. So one thing that I do when I start to have these, you're going to have those doubts, you're going to have those feelings. You can't just be like, everything's perfect. Trust me, those feelings come. But I have learned, this is from Louise Hay, and I have learned to say this. I stop and I say, all is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience or situation, only good will come, and I am safe. So we don't have to fix the problem. We have to fix our thinking and how we're going to respond. So I'm going to say that again, and I'm going to post it on my social media with this podcast today. All is well. Everything is working out for my highest good. Out of this experience or situation, only good will come, and I am safe. Then the next thing that I do is I write down what the circumstance is, and I work through the model. You guys know how I do that. I work through the model of what is the circumstance. Maybe the circumstance is customers. Okay. The thought is, nobody wants what I have. Nobody has any money. I don't even know why I asked. That's negative. I will shift that thought to a different thought. I'll choose again. So I have a different feeling. Instead of overwhelm and insecurity, I have a different feeling to get a better result. So write down the circumstance. That's black and white, no feeling behind it. And then you get the better result. So this trip that we're taking, I can't go through all the tools in the suitcase with you today. We've done that a lot together. There are many tools, very effective tools that can help you to build your business, help you connect, have better conversations, attract more people. There is a way to build a business that is aligned, that is so amazing. Many of you already are doing it, but we want to have the right tools in your suitcase. The biggest tool is in your brain, knowing that your thoughts will create your life. Where is your destination? And along the way, are you stopping your asks and declares because they're being overshadowed by this constant overwhelm and doubt? So I just gave you a strategy when you feel overwhelmed. And then I'm going to ask you, do something else. I tap. I've been doing a lot of the tapping. I have an app that I will tap. I will also do that thought download, sticking with my meditation, my breath work, and then action, taking the action because the action is required for this to happen. So with that, we're going to end this episode with a challenge for you. And my challenge is for you to just take a moment to say, okay, right now, here's what's in my suitcase. Here are the tools that I have working for me. The next piece is, where is the destination that I'm going at the end of this month? And what are your thoughts around it, the belief? And what are the tools that you have to keep your brain in the game, right? That's the mindset piece. That's a whole nother suitcase. What are those thoughts about that? And what happens and what is your strategy when you begin to feel overwhelmed? What will you do when you start to have that shortness of breath, that overwhelm? What will you do? How will that feel? That's what my mission is for you. And I equate it to what we have in our closet. If we're going out and we're thinking, okay, I'm going out with the girls tonight, if we were not on a stay-at-home situation. And do I have a pair of jeans? Do I have a belt? Do I have a shirt? And most of the time, we already have an outfit. I already have the outfit. You already have the tools. I want to encourage you, like I said, draw it out, get visual. Here's my destination, and here are the tools that I need. And most importantly, what is it that you will do when you start to feel the overwhelm, when you start to feel the anxiety, when you start to feel shortness of breath, when you start to feel your thoughts are going to darkness, negativity? What are your tools? And where will you commit to, like the stop, drop, and roll that we had when we were practicing fire safety? What's your stop, drop, and roll when the obstacles come up in your life? So that is what I have for you today. You're going on a trip. What's in your suitcase? An avocado, a banana. Let's talk about what could be in your suitcase. Would be abundance, would be all of the beautiful destinations, the courage for C. I'm going to actually write this out as a post as well. I love it. What's in your suitcase for your entrepreneurial and most of all your life journey? And I want it to be the most beautiful destination. And if where you're headed or the path is not so beautiful, you get to change it. You get to change your mind. It's your path. Nobody's telling you that this is the way that you have to go and these are the things that you have to do. And even this is the business that you have to build. Your journey needs to be beautiful. It needs to be full of love and abundance. You deserve it. You're worth it. You can do it. And I'm here cheering for you. So with that, I am going to bid you farewell until next week. An exciting announcement that I have is when I talk about that suitcase, I am creating a dream destination for all of you. And it's virtual. It's a dream destination. And it is going to be private access, a VIP membership to this exclusive destination that will give you the toolbox and also the daily action plan. We have not announced it yet. We are going to only have the doors open for a short amount of time because I want to launch with a small group. It will be a monthly membership that is very affordable because I want people to have access. I want you to have access to the tools and to the community. So if you want to be one of the founding members, I want to hear from you. And I don't even have my opt-in link set up to be fancy. So I just want to hear from you. Facebook Messenger if we're friends, over on Instagram at Beth Holden Graves, or shoot me an email, beth@bethholdengraves.com. Like, let me know. I want in. I want to know what this magical destination, this VIP inner circle club, I don't even have a name yet. I think of Club Penguin, but I know that it is all about that suitcase and each suitcase having the tools and having the daily action plan, but also understanding how we can get there in the most beautiful way, because that's what you deserve. That's what we all deserve. So as always, be you bravely. I'll catch you next week on our episode that is going to be an insane surprise because I have a guest you will not want to miss. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today on You're Not the Boss of Me. I'm hoping that you found one thing that you will do today that will allow you to move forward to that big, audacious goal. And I have a favor to ask of you, and that is leaving me a 5-star review over in iTunes. Every single week, I read your reviews. I love hearing what you have to say, and it allows me to bring you more, to get more people to interview that are doing the thing, breaking the glass ceilings, creating what they crave, and helping you with your game plan. So leave me a 5-star review, and when you do, I enter you to win the You're Not the Boss of Me swag. So make sure you leave it, and we'll reach out to you if you're the winner. Thanks so much for hanging with me today, and we'll chat with you soon.